changed than anything that's what has been spoken. I'm glad that both of you brothers, the priest, all three of them, about the saving grace of God. And I'm glad I was like that woman in that great Jericho when this bad thing to her, so Andy. And she told them that I've heard about you. Yes. I heard about you all. You're a mighty army. God got power. But these men here studied you. I heard about you. And I heard about what you all could do. See, it's not the fear that you run from God. It's the fear that you would run to Him. Yeah. He don't want you to run from Him. He wants you to come to Him. If you failed when you was a child, you run to Daddy. When you run to Mommy. Got hurt. You feeling hurt. Anything that went wrong, you went to Mommy, to Daddy. You get scared of somebody, you run to somebody that was safe for you, to help you, and to lead you. That's the fear that He wants you to have in your very life. Amen. He wants you to run to Him. Because He said that He stands there with stretched arms to welcome you and to help you and to lead you, to feed you when you're hungry, and to give you something to drink when you're thirsty, to give you clothes on you when you're naked, to give you something for your life mind to put you on something better than this world. Put you upon a solid foundation that the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And to know that you are a mighty big army, and that you have power to put you were speaking of. And that's why they told that woman to put that scarlet thread up on the wall. Because by her obedience, she had faith in them, and she done what they were commanded to do. And so God, that's what He loved about you. And that's why He commended His love to each and every one of you. So that you could take heed with Father's letter, what He wants you. Yes, the mighty the other day said, I bet these words here is the level of a 5th grader. But I'm surprised if it was so that a 5th grader could write words that would pierce your heart, that would cause men to crumble down, to realize they was lost and undone. What a mighty word that God used men to write these words. And these words, He turned it into flesh. And this flesh that He turned it into, I walked the face of this earth. I walked upon the sea when the wind was blowing and the water, I was high and raising as you, meet you. Our life is not always fire, friends. It'll never give you fireness. Our friends, our life will never give you peace. But I'm glad that I come to know, man, they gave me peace when the world cannot give it me. But I'm glad today that I met a man 20 years ago, that He took me and He changed me. And I'm glad today, and because of that, because He turned that man out of word into flesh, yes, He carried the cross just for you and I. When we were weak, He made us strong. Yes, we were not water, we was not the tree, beside the river. When it comes raging, we shall stand fine. Those roots that grounded into the ground, deep in love. how He gives you life, and more abundantly. We got something to shout about today. Because how He gave us some sin, how He gave us life, because He was out of that grave, out of that morning. Yes, He's the bright star that shines in your life. Yes, He'll turn your light in today when you realize the morning sun is dawning in your life. You know that He saved your very soul. And you know that He is His. And I'm glad that He loved me enough. He just sent that boy for a reason. To give me a purpose and to give me life. To somewhere along the way that I could maybe share of what He'd done and what He did for you and I, Brother Ballard. That somebody would take heed and to learn of Him. But I thought about the love that He has for you and I. How much love that no man can understand. And I thought, well, if it were the 5th grader, why do we need men to change the words? Why do we need new Bible? Why do we need somebody else's opinion? God's word is spoken in truth and in spirit for us to learn. And because that word was made light, and because it is thrown today, it done something to you and I. And because Jesus got up that 3rd morning, it made a difference. Yes, sir. Why? Because He even told those disciples, for Jerry, He said, come and follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men. When they was out in the sea, they were fishing. And they were drawing a lot of fish, but the net broke. But all friends, but these things changed. While He was up on that tree, the same thing that He promised Abraham upon the mountain. When He was offering the best that He had, and it was His son. And He thought that He could lay Him up and give Him for us. But Abraham seen what God was going to do. And because He didn't allow that, He gave Him a lamb and made that offering. But upon that same mountain, God has sent His Son and made a perfect offering. An offering that is everlasting offering. There'll be no more shedding of the animals. There'll be no more bulls, no more lambs, and no more goats. Because a better offering is made for you and I. It's a continuing offering. The blood still flows. That river still flows from the cross. The prophecy that these old brethren have prophesied in the Old Testament are come to fulfilling. When Jesus was talking in the temple one day, He read out of Isaiah. And because those people were at His voice, when He read out Isaiah, He closed the book and He told them it was fulfilled. Because they were ignorant in their own ways and blinded. They didn't understand that He was the one the old prophet was speaking on. He was the one that was going to come and make a way for you and I. That He would make a way for every man and every woman in this world. That you can go to Him and by Him and through Him to get to heaven. Because He is the only way. Let no man tell you that you can't get to heaven. That's right. You tell them that you can get to heaven through and by Jesus Christ. Amen. Because God commended His love toward every nation shall come to him. The kingdom that he set upon his rock is the everlasting kingdom. Let the post to the west, to the east, let the post to north, to south. This kingdom, let the nation, for every man and every woman that come to by the door. And he is that door. Amen. He is the only way to get there. And he's the only one that you're going to dwell with. And because he is the everlasting King, he is the love that God promised you and I. And I know that those men today don't preach you doctrine, word doctrine. They're going to cause you to start reading things that you see differently. Without the Spirit, you're not going to understand everything that's written in this book. But with the Spirit, it's going to teach you exactly who our God loves you before the foundation of the world. That's why his love is so great, that he had something to set up, running for you and I, so we could get home. To him, his reward is everlasting. There's no end to it. I need us to realize that God is an all-knowing God. He's an all-powerful God. And he has it all in his hands because he loves you. Because he loves you. He loves you enough. And he wants you to come home to him. When they were talking about the prodigal son, he wants you to come. He wants you to come. When he said, I stand at the door and knock, he wants you to open the door and let him come in. He is as sweet as honey. He wants you to take the comb out of that lime carcass, and he wants you to be able to get a taste of it. And to realize how good that he is. To realize that he'll give you an opportunity to let him come in and perform something within you. When he performed within you, but Jerry was talking about salvation, he'll input salvation in you. He didn't give salvation to no man. He got it in his hand. Because if we leave it in a man's hand, he'll carve it all up and he'll destroy everything. But I'm glad that this man named Jesus Christ is the Lord of over God's inheritance. He holds the key in his hand. He made every decision between him and God. And that Holy Spirit, when he runs through us, that we are the children of God. Yet my banner holds that high today. And my banner is called love. Because I met a man 20 years ago when he came walking by me. I got on my knees, but I cried mighty unto him. He heard my cry because I knew that I couldn't live under the law. The law brought me to Christ, and Christ put an end to it. And he gave me grace. For by grace, through grace, by faith, are you saved. Not of yourself, but here it is. Why? It's free gift of God. At least any man should boast. To every man and to every woman, when they get them the song, to realize something, that God holds it all in his hand. He loves you. And he wants you to come to him. He'll give you something to eat. He'll put clothes on you. He'll give you something far better, Bo, than the harp that we boast. He'll give you something better than the clothes that you got on. He'll give you something better, and then you realize right down in your soul that he makes you a new creature in Christ. I'm glad today that He's saying today that today is the day of salvation. Harden not your heart. Let Him come in, Brother Army, that He would stop with you. And I'm glad today that Jesus is the only way to heaven. By Him. Sister Darlene, I'm going to get to go. You're going to get to go. By Him. In that morning, when we fall asleep, I'll pick up my gold and rest for your soul, waiting for that beautiful day to come. And I believe when the angels step out and blow the trumpet, and Jesus comes in the air, yes, we're going to be called up together. The body likened unto Him, a most glorified body, new body. I won't have to suffer with Crohn. I won't have to suffer with the dialysis. Nobody won't have to suffer sickness no more. We're going to be like Him. We're going to see your daddy. We're going to see your father. We're going to see mother. We're going to see grandchildren. We're going to see the generations of God going home to die no more. To give Him glory forever and ever. That's why God created us in the beginning, and that's why we're going now. Give Him all the praise and all the honor. And I shall be Jesus.